Happy Wednesday to everybody out there. I'm Jake Bakoven alongside Eric Strickland, the Husker Hall of Famer and longtime NBA vet. And this is On the Block. You can catch us Monday through Friday from 4 to 6. Very excited tomorrow, by the way. We are going to be out at Double Eagle Golf. At least I will. Strick will still be tuning in from his home back in Florida until he makes his new home here in Lincoln. Then I'm sure you'll spend plenty of time at Double Eagle Golf, actually. It's inside the Kinetic Sports Complex. If you want to come join us over there on West O Street behind Red Fox Steakhouse. From 3 to 6 p.m., we'll be out there. We're going to have a long drive contest on the golf simulators, 5 different golf simulator bays to play on, the most in town by far. Full bar with drink specials tomorrow, awesome prizes for stopping by, and food will be available from Soulful Cocina. So that's kind of cool. The actual address there is 150 Southwest 14th Place. So make some plans for that if you have the opportunity. It might be another rainy day in Lincoln, as it has been the last couple of days. So you can't go golf outside. Might as well go inside to golf. No better way than that to do it than that. Have you ever done too much inside golfing in your past, Strick? Have you tried out the kind of simulators in golf over the last few years?
No, I haven't had a chance to do that. But I think they're pretty cool. You know, you get a chance to play different courses all over the world. You know, some of the PGA courses that they play on, and I'm sure that would be pretty fun. I mean, I've got a chance to play some of them, like TPC Sawgrass and a few of them. But yeah, I think it's pretty cool, man, to be able to just go out there and hit it against the wall, and it looks like it's going down. The simulators are pretty cool.
Yeah, I can't wait to try it out. I haven't done it yet myself, so I'm really looking forward to go Double Eagle Golf tomorrow. Hopefully, my normal golf game is awful, so that's going to be hopefully it can kind of help that a little bit. At least I won't have to walk as much on the golf ball hit way off on the wrong way, or go swim for the golf ball hit into the water. So all of that will make it a little bit better of an experience. Also, some other news over the last hour that I wanted to mention: Colin Kaepernick, who last played in 2016, obviously, is scheduled to work out this week for the Las Vegas Raiders, according to Adam Schefter. So. It's been kind of talked about. We know he's been trying to get a look from an NFL team. I find it kind of odd to start there in the NFL right after having that much wear on you. I mean, you can't. Those are the best guys in the league. But for what it's worth, when he left, he had a decent stats that he put up with. Obviously, went to the Super Bowl at one time with the 49ers. Looked like maybe that part of his career was past him. But now trying to make a comeback. I'm kind of cheering for him. I think it'd be a cool story, but it seems like a long shot.
He's had multiple workouts, so it's not that he hasn't had opportunity. I think even a couple of people were possibly going to bring him in, and then he, I guess, turned it down. So, I mean, I'm not a big Colin Kaepernick fan, so to speak, but if he makes it, then that means he's deserving. If somebody thinks that he can provide for them some backup. I mean, there's not many quarterbacks out there right now. So, I mean, if you need a backup quarterback, I'm sure Cleveland is on the hunt right now, being that, Deshaun Watson, they don't know kind of what's going to happen with that. And then, the Baker Mayfield situation is probably past its time. So, there's not many out there that you can just kind of go and get, and maybe he's a backup role there that fits. I don't know.
Yeah, and for what it's worth, you're right. I mean, he did work out. I think it was 2018. Again, he stopped playing in 2016. I think in 2018 he worked out with Seattle, and Coach Carroll said, that guy's an NFL starter, but then didn't sign him. So I don't really know what that necessarily means. And it's you can look good in your workout videos, and everybody basically does. I mean, you don't put together a workout video with all your worst passes. I still think he's kind of an uphill battle there. Kind of interesting for Vegas to kind of get into it again. We often bring it up here, especially on the block, is I feel like they need less distractions, and that's kind of what goes along with Kaepernick, regardless of what you feel about his activism or any of that. It is a kind of a side talk that's going to be going on outside of even the sports realm. And then there's the bigger fact that he hasn't played in 6 years now. That's a lot to ask out of a position that gets a lot of money, a lot of is expected on. play at the highest level. So I don't know. There's a lot of, as it was with when he was kind of seemingly blackballed from the league or whatever. There's a lot of kind of backups that, may not have his natural talent or anything like that. But again, if you're looking for a backup, you want somebody that you feel comfortable with, but that's not going to kind of start things. And I also remember a few months ago, it was like Kaepernick had admitted that he was going to come in to be a backup. And it was like, well, yeah, I mean, you're not going to, I thought that was the goal all along. So there might be a little bit of an ego thing to deal with there too. We have Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald set to join us here in about 15 minutes. So we'll catch up on that. A few Huskers actually departing, entering the transfer portal today. So that'll be interesting to catch up and see what that's all about. Also, the Big Ten baseball tournament was set to start today and rain got in the way. So postponed. Obviously, Nebraska not in either way. But that's kind of interesting as it's going on right up there in Omaha. I did want to get to this too. The Bussin' Bowl is a new concept over the last few months, I believe, that started with Will Compton and Taylor Lewan in their podcast. They've got the Bussin' with the Boys podcast. Obviously, Taylor Lewan used to play for Michigan. Will Compton used to play for Nebraska. It's very popular, and they've been here. If you remember, they talked to Casey Thompson, they talked to Garrett Nelson, and kind of did their whole thing with Scott Frost, Eric Shenander. They did the same thing with Jim Harbaugh and some of the guys up there at Michigan, and they're trying to put together a trophy for Nebraska and Michigan based on the bus and make it the Bussin' Bowl. Do you like that idea? To me, it is at least kind of organic and kind of makes sense. At the same time, it's a little silly to me for a Nebraska-Michigan rivalry, which has a very obvious, trophy or battle that you could have over 1997. But more importantly, there's two of the top teams in college football history. Kind of gets into what you feel about the trophy games altogether. Nebraska's got, of course, the Freedom Trophy with Wisconsin, the Heroes Trophy, which was established first against Iowa, and then the unofficial $5 bits of broken chair trophy with Minnesota, which is my favorite. And that's why I kind of bring it up, is that I think that, if it kind of organically happens, sometimes you're more likely to like those trophy games than others. But a lot of people are just tired of too many Big Ten trophy games to begin with.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of them. I don't think you do it if you stay in the East-West scenarios, but why would it not hurt if you kind of go to a non division situation? Then you could probably do something like that, add a little bit value to the game. I wouldn't do it if it's outside your pod. I mean, if it's I think you create them if they're in your pod. If you're going to go non-divisional, you create them in your pod, and then you do them within your division possibly. But I don't know about cross. I understand what they're trying to do. I don't see a cross division type of situation working or outside of a pod. It wouldn't make sense to me.
Well, it's kind of funny as we get into this pod discussion as the years go by. Is that going to be part of expansion and stuff like that? Is that Nebraska is going to play 3 opponents every year or whatever it is, and then every once in a while they'll just change their pod? I don't know. It's going to be weird and something that we all have to adjust to for Nebraska football and the conferences altogether. It's almost like if you're going to have 3 opponents year in and year out that you're going to play out often. And the idea is 3-5-5 again, is that you have the 3 opponents that you play year in and year out. And then you have a group of 5 opponents within the Big Ten, whatever that may be, Rutgers, Michigan, Ohio State, Northwestern, Purdue, whatever, and then flip it the next year and play on the other group of 5. So that's the whole idea behind it. But it just feels like if you're going to, and I know that is from within a conference standpoint. So all these conferences are kind of putting that together. But if all the conference go to pod systems, it's almost like, man, let's just make one giant league and have 3 opponents that you play every year, and then try to. It would be a mess to find different scheduling. But if I'm being honest, and I wanted to start a pod for Nebraska, and you told me to pick 3 opponents, I don't think they'd all contain Big Ten teams.
You don't think they would contain Big Ten teams?
I mean, if you in the ideal world, if I had to play 3 opponents year in and year out, I wouldn't choose 3 Big Ten teams. I might choose 1.
Well, I don't see how that would work if you're in the Big Ten, but I understand your sentiment on it. Then who would that be?
I don't know. I think again, all of it has to kind of work together.
Who would your 3 be?
in an ideal world where only Nebraska mattered, I think I'd probably have Oklahoma. I mean, but then you got to kind of think about, do you want wins or do you want primary matchups? But I would just choose like Nebraska's top rivalries. I'd probably have like Oklahoma, Colorado, and Iowa seems to be developing fairly nicely. So, I mean, games that you can go to within reach and historically feel fun for every year. I think that would be fun. But again, those are on 3 different conferences, and one of them's
Right.
moving conferences. So I mean, they've all moved conferences.
Right.
So it's kind of confusing how it's going. But within the Big Ten, I'm interested to see what they do and how much kind of Nebraska has a say in it, and how much the idea of equal scheduling has a say in it. Because again, from that standpoint, I think Nebraska fans would want Wisconsin and Iowa. But do you want the load up on the third one? Do you want the third one to be Michigan State or Minnesota or something? Or are you going to like try to get Northwestern or one of the lower ranked teams to make sure you get a win year in and year out?
I mean, I think everybody would probably want to have maybe 2 of those. You want to have at least a couple of them that are going to be games that are going to raise your RPIs, right? There's going to raise your rankings to be able to secure higher and better bowls or anything like that. So if you're going to have 3, and I would look at it, it would probably be either Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Iowa, or worst case scenario, Michigan State, Wisconsin, and Iowa is how I would probably like it to be. I think the styles of football fit for good matchups for Nebraska in that sense. But yeah, I just don't know, man. I don't know how it's going to work. I don't know if it's even capable of working. I actually like a 3-5-5 system to be honest, but it's a tricky thing, man. And it's a lot of discussions. I'm sure that's outside of my pay grade and the way that I envision it. But that's what those ADs get paid the big bucks for, is to try to figure out a system that works. And obviously somebody's always going to feel they're going to get shafted in it. So other teams are going to try to create and keep whatever rivalries that are big games, big money games, big opportunity games for them, i.e. your Ohio State, Michigan. They're probably not going to want to be outside of each other's pod. They're going to want to maintain that. And so, yeah, it's a tricky thing. It's something that's, I'm sure, in the works. I'm sure there's conversations going on consistently. They're trying to probably figure it out sooner than later. So.
Yeah. Let us know what you guys think. If they do go to this 3-5-5 system, again, we're throwing around words like pods and 3-5-5. Some of it's kind of newer to the college football fans' ear. But again, the basic idea is that you'd play 3 teams year in and year out, like you do with your standard divisions right now. So if you had to pick 3 teams within the Big Ten, let us know what they would be. 402-464-5685 on the Starter Heyman text line. You can also call in Honda of Lincoln hotline, 402-464-5685, the same number there. Because I'm just interested to see people's strategies. I think back in the day when Nebraska was at the top, just load them up and play, Ohio State, Michigan, and Penn State or something like that. But these days, some of those games make more sense for travel and, just kind of the rivalries that have developed. I'm going to miss the Big Ten West. If it looks like its days are numbered, it's kind of got its own identity. It doesn't win the Big Ten championship for what it's worth, and maybe that's part of the problem. But it might be fun to kind of mix it up with the Big Ten East teams a little bit more. So again, let us know what you think on the Starter Heyman text line there, because I think that's where they're headed. Are you going to miss the divisions, or do you like kind of the idea of having the 2 top teams playing?
I'm not against it. I'm still okay with it. I think the divisions are fine, but I'm okay with it if they switch it and go to a system that it's the 2 best teams that face off. I understand why they want to probably keep it that way in the division system. I understand that. So I don't have a dog in that fight either way. I think I'm just okay with just good competition, good games, and strength of the conference, and whatever makes that happen, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm personally going to miss divisions, and maybe it's just because that's what I'm used to. Obviously, if you're from the Big 8 days, you didn't have divisions. There wasn't enough teams really too. And so you're basically, with modern day, at least the SEC, the Big Eight would be half of what the SEC will be here in a couple of years. But I grew up with the Big 12 North and for a while the Legends Division, now the Big 10 West. And it wasn't always the best division in the conference, and rarely was it, to be honest with you. The Big 12 North was often dominated by the Big 12 South, and the same goes for the Big 10 West, obviously, against the Big 10 East. And the idea, of course, is to make it more equalized scheduling, as you would be able to play more teams more often. Again, Nebraska's going to play Indiana for the third time in the Big 10 this upcoming year. They've been in the conference since 2011, excuse me. So that's a long time. And because it's Indiana, I don't think too many fans care too much. But if you think about it, if that was Wisconsin and you kind of still had the Legends and Leaders divisions, and Wisconsin was the crossover opponent that you never faced, Nebraska fans wouldn't like that because they wanted to play Wisconsin. Although, given the results, I'm not sure they really would. Frost says, and Lincoln says, Iowa, Northwestern, and Wisconsin would be his choices. I think that's what was
that? Iowa, what?
Wisconsin and Northwestern.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I think that's more probable than anything as far as I see it. I think that makes the most sense. But again, before that's without, doing everybody's crossovers, but I think that one's going to make a lot of sense. Derek says, keep divisions, best opportunity for us to win and play Oklahoma every year. That would be awesome. Yes, I would love a yearly matchup with Oklahoma or Colorado. I don't really care. Oklahoma is obviously the biggest rivalry, and I understand how difficult that would be. A permanent crossover with them would be awesome. But if the Colorado matchups has been fun, if you got going with Missouri or even Iowa State, obviously, for the Big 12 South, the Texas, the Oklahoma States from back in the Big 8. I just love to see Nebraska keep going in that direction. But I would love to see Oklahoma every year too. Somebody off the text line says would have to go 16 and 3-6-6 would play all 15 other teams. That is the one problem with the 3-5-5 idea is that you're only playing 8 conference games. So that's kind of why I think we're waiting to see what the Big Ten does with their TV contract, because with 9 games, that obviously gives the TV side of it a little bit more to bargain with. So we'll see if they will be down for a 3-5-5, but I wouldn't mind adding a few teams to the Big Ten and going 3-6-6. Ohio Husker says Iowa, Minnesota in Northwestern. So getting Wisconsin out of there. So that's kind of interesting. And I think Minnesota's, I think between those 4 teams, that's kind of who it will be. Still somewhat regionally based with the Big Ten West, but Nebraska's doesn't have too many close games with anybody. But in any case, those are closer than anything. So yeah, it's just it's interesting to kind of see how it plays out. I think between those 4 teams, once it comes out, that'll be 3 of those 4 teams will be in there, and certainly Iowa. I think that's the biggest one to protect for the upcoming change in the conference and what that looks like. I'm interested. I'm fascinated, but again, I'll miss the Big Ten West. We're going to take a quick break here on the block. When we come back, it is time for Evan Bland weekly appearance here of the Omaha World Herald. Again, kind of interesting things going down with the Husker baseball program today. Few more departures into the transfer portal. So we'll ask him what that sort of stuff means. We'll also kind of break down some of this Husker football stuff with him next as well. Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald will join us on the block coming up next.
.93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 330 North 48th Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your first alert weather forecast tonight. Rain showers continue. Windy and cool. Overnight lows 48. Showers in the morning, mostly sunny and warmer in the afternoon for your Thursday. Highs right around 68. I'm NTV Chief Forecaster Ken Fountain for 93.7 The Ticket.
There's not many things worse than having plumbing issues at your home or business, but it's even worse if the problem isn't fixed correctly. Select Plumbing gets it right the first time, and they specialize in several things: general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. Plus, they're hiring service plumbers. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Herrick Services takes this time to wish everyone a happy and healthy Memorial Day weekend. We are thankful for our country, and for those that have served this nation, we salute you. This important message comes to you from Bart, Mike, and the folks at Herrick Services, your vending specialists here in Lincoln. Their quality service and expertise has earned them a fine reputation. That's Herrick Services, on the air because they care.
Spring has arrived. Dust off your clubs and play the city. Lincoln City Golf Courses offer 5 different places to play, including Holmes, Pioneers, Highlands, Mahoney, and the par 3 Jim Ager course. Plus, one membership gets you access to all 5 courses, or ask about a discount card that gets you 15% off all rounds. There's also adult classes with lessons for every level with Lincoln City Golf Academy. Learn more about membership and classes today at lincolncitygolf.org.
James Enterprise Incorporated, that company that hauls your gravel, rocks, and material for your farm or construction site, says thank you to the people of the healthcare community for putting yourself in the way of danger to save the public. That is what it means to be a hero and to build a beautiful legacy. This message brought to you by James Enterprise Incorporated. For all your hauling of rock, gravel, and materials, call them at 402-432-6740. That's 402-432-6740.
Life after college has been great, but paying off my student loans, not so great. I needed a fast way to help pay off my loans. Then I found it, a research study at Solarium. I searched the studies and found a perfect match for me. It was so easy. I earned cash for the study and paid off those student loans. Plus, I made an impact on medical research. Find a study and sign up today at healthresearch.com.
You should consider the risks of the research before you agree to participate.
Hey, it's Bach. Join me and Eric Strickland this Thursday at the brand new Double Eagle Golf Simulator Bar on West O Street inside the Kinetic Sports Complex from 3 to 6 p.m. That's this Thursday at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street.
Join us at Cactus by Venue for our new America's Favorites menu. We're keeping your favorite dips and tacos and adding brand new dishes, including delicious steaks, burgers, pastas, and more. Focusing on vibrant casual dining using a blend of fresh ingredients prepared from scratch. Located at 56 and Highway 2 in the Edgewood Shopping Center, see the whole menu online at cactusbyvenue.com and order yours to go at venuedelivered.com. Cactus by Venue, America's favorites.
Back to On the Block with Strick and Bach on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back on the block here on 93.7 The Ticket, and it's a rainy day outside, which is causing no baseball to be played up in Omaha for the Big Ten tournament today. So somewhat of unfortunate events, but I do see some, we've been watching some SEC, some big Big 12 baseball conference tournament going up on the television. So it is that time of the year, and as we wrap up things for the Nebraska baseball season, obviously they did not make the Big Ten tournament. We welcome in Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald to kind of catch us up on a busy baseball day even for Nebraska, as a lot of guys hitting the transfer portal. Evan, how's your day going?
Yeah, you said it, man. Wet and busy, I suppose, would be the 2 words to describe it.
Yeah, it certainly has been pretty wet out there the last couple of days. As we look at the transfer portal, it's been helpful in the football side of things, obviously, but today it looks like Braxton Bragg, Ethan Bradford, Tyler Palmer, Jack Stye, and Quinn Mason all entering the transfer portal. What does this mean for Husker baseball?
Well, it means that the coaching staff is not thrilled with how this season went, and there's going to be some roster turnover here, as we've seen today, and as we'll see here, I'm sure, more in the coming days and coming weeks. It wasn't good enough this year, and Will Bolt alluded to it last Saturday after their season ended that everything was going to be reviewed, from how they coach to the roster composition and everything. And so, you look at the guys who left, Leighton Banjoff was another one who was the everyday left fielder for Nebraska down the stretch. He was probably the most prominent player so far who's departed. And then Braxton Bragg into the closer role. He had 5 saves, and I would say was one of their better pitchers this past season. And so those guys move on, and then everybody else, you're talking about second and third year guys, some who maybe just couldn't get right health-wise, some who didn't like their roles or the way things were trending, and so they move on. And like I said, there's going to be more departures coming. The draft, which will happen in mid-July, will inform some of those things, particularly with the seniors like Chase Shaneman or Griffin Everett or Cody Frank. And then, you've got 16, members of a recruiting class coming in at this point, including 9 junior college players. They added another commit today. So it's a big roster turnover. They feel like, again, it just wasn't good enough this year. And so you're going to see a lot of different name tags here moving forward.
Yeah, and I've also seen the expectation is to bring in a lot of JUCO kids coming in next year. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah, they have 9 junior college players now, and I think it's important to sort of put out there that junior college recruiting in baseball is different than it is in football, right? Like a lot of times, in football, guys go that route because maybe they don't qualify academically, or there are other sort of, issues. And oftentimes, not always, but oftentimes there are red flags that you have to sort through. In baseball, often, it's far more common for players to go that route. 1, so they have the possibility to be drafted sooner, but 2, just so they get more playing time and develop. And oftentimes you see players make big strides from their freshman year of college to their sophomore year or their junior year. And so, in football, if you took 9 or 10 junior college players in a class, you'd say, whoa, that's probably not a good sign for where the program is. In baseball, it's quite a bit different. And if you can hit on the right guys, they come in, they can fill a role pretty quickly. And so you look at some of the players Nebraska's bringing in, a lot of hitters, outfielders in particular, and then you're trying to address pitching depth as well. So both in the starting rotation and in the bullpen. So I feel like that's something that they're ready to address, and it's a difference when guys have performed at the college level and they're ready to roll, as opposed to freshmen who maybe need a year or 2 to acclimate. So that's sort of what Nebraska's counting on with this many veteran guys coming in.
Well, and obviously it's difficult with so much roster turnover and things to happen before next year to give too much of an outlook towards next year. But I guess just for the common fan that maybe didn't follow it too closely, what kind of went wrong this year, and where does that kind of put the program moving forward? Because obviously it's a frustrating year for men's sports altogether, so it's easy to throw baseball in there, but they're a year removed from winning the Big Ten title.
Right. Well, it's interesting because the headlines, and if you just sort of followed it casually, I think the inclination would be to say, they had injuries in the rotation and then the bullpen, and maybe they just ran out of arms. But the more that you look at it, like the guys who filled in for those injured players actually performed pretty darn well. I mean, Emmett Olson ended up being one of the best pitchers on the staff, and he started the year as like the 8th inning guy. Jackson Brockett was another young guy who was sort of thrown into the fire and did pretty well. And CJ Hood is a freshman who maybe got more high leverage situations than they thought. So, it's not to say that Nebraska didn't miss Kyle Perry and Jake Buns, because they very much did. But the reason Nebraska is not sitting around in Charles Schwab Field waiting out a rain delay right now is because of the offense. And you look at, they didn't get it done. They hit around 250 as a team, which you got to go way back to the 1970s, last time Nebraska, from a batting average perspective, hit that poorly as an offense. And not only were they, not getting hits, they weren't getting clutch hits, and oftentimes they couldn't even get productive outs. First and third with 1 out, you saw way too many pop-ups and strikeouts as opposed to sacrifice flies or RBI groundouts or things of that nature. So the offense was a huge letdown. You're going to see a much different looking lineup in that regard next year. And then tied to that, defensively, it was too inconsistent. They might have a few games where things look pretty good, but the list is a lot longer of games that they lost because of unearned runs or because of misplays. than it is about game-saving catches or clutch web gems or things of that nature. So it was really more about the offense and the defense more than it was the pitching. And so I think in those areas in particular, you're going to see a lot of turnover here this offseason.
And then obviously the big turmoil over the weekend was that Nebraska won a few games that might look like they could get to Omaha, and then Purdue and Maryland didn't want to play because of rain. And we've had Trev Alberts kind of had to speak on that. And where do you fall on the whole idea of them maybe not putting their best effort forward to get all their games in?
Well, yeah, I mean it's not a good look, right? Like it's kind of hard to judge because you kind of have to go off of social media and what some of the people on site said, but the fact is that they delayed the game by a half hour from it was supposed to be a noon central start, and the rain really didn't start until like 2:10, 2:15. So you could have gotten, there was at least a 2 hour, maybe a 3 hour window in West Lafayette where they could have played at least 5 innings to see what would have happened. And, Purdue obviously was trying to make the field, but Maryland, they weren't going to roll over even as league champs because they were still fighting for NCAA regional seeding, potentially being a national seed and a host. And so they had a lot to play for too. What it comes down to though, and again, it's not excusing that because I think they could have gotten it in. The forecast the night before spoke to that. Like they could have played a doubleheader on Friday. I think that would have probably been the best course of action if there had been a little bit more foresight or accountability. But, again, it comes down to if you're Nebraska, you never needed to be in a position where you have to worry about curfew times and weather 600 miles away. Like if you beat Minnesota, if you hold a 3, the worst team in the league in the 8th inning, 2 weeks prior, you're in. If you finish any one game in any series against Michigan or Rutgers or Iowa or Indiana, you're in, and they didn't do it. And so I think there was sort of a realization afterwards that, maybe they got jobbed by how that game out east was handled. But man, ultimately there was nothing, that you can do to place blame anywhere other than yourself for being in that spot. And so I think they understood that. They lost close games. They lost blowouts. They were not, they weren't discriminatory about how they were going to lose games, and good enough. And so that's why I think you're going to see, again, quite a bit of change here this offseason.
As we do turn our attention now toward the Big Ten tournament up there in Omaha, again, rain delayed today. I don't think they're going to get any games in. But as far as what are we looking from that tournament? Like, it's the Big Ten, we know, not to very well established in the NCAA. Is Maryland's in for sure? So there's not a one bid league to say.
No, it won't be a one bid league. It won't be a one bid league. I think Maryland's is a lock regardless. They're probably a top 8 national seed. Unless maybe they go 0-2. I think Rutgers is safely in. I mean, they were the leaders a lot of the season. Their numbers and their RPI would indicate that they're probably safe as well. And then, I think the team maybe on the bubble would be Iowa. They were the 3 seed, and I think they have an RPI in like the 60s. And if you make a run, if you win 2 or 3, you probably would have a fighting chance at an at-large bid there. So, I think at the absolute maximum this year, the Big Ten would be, 3, probably a 3-bid league. So you're talking, Maryland, Rutgers, and if somebody else were to go through and take that auto bid, then they would have it. So that's probably how it is. And so I think that's kind of what makes Nebraska's frustration this season all the greater, is that it was not a good Big Ten league this year. I mean, they've had 5-bid leagues the last handful of seasons. They've been pretty top heavy, and this year, there's just not a ton of depth in the league. Scoring was way up, the pitching was way down, generally speaking. So I think you'll probably see a lot of runs out there if the weather allows games to be played. But certainly Maryland is the team that you point to and say, they could be back in Omaha for the CWS in a few weeks if they continue to do what they do. And other than that, the tournament kind of has shown anybody can win. I mean, if you're an 8 seed, a 7 seed, anybody can make a run. So hopefully the games get in and we get some chaos.
Yeah, absolutely. Transitioning quickly to football here with Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald. Since we last talked to you, more portal additions for Nebraska. Actually, I think just one, and Marcus Washington, the wide receiver there from Texas. Do you see him as one of the more important portal additions for Nebraska this offseason?
Well, I don't know about this season. I think he's an interesting addition because he has, multiple years of eligibility remaining. And so you look at what Nebraska did in the portal, they kind of felt camps. There was the camp that was, guys at positions of immediate need who needed to fill in, which quite obviously included quarterback, defensive line, offensive line, so on and so forth. And then there was sort of this group of guys that were younger players that maybe they were in on a few cycles ago that they still felt good about. And that would include guys like Tommy Hill and Kane Williams would be another young guy. And now you bring in Washington, who Nebraska recruited in that 2019 cycle. You look at the receiver room and it's maybe not an obvious need. Maybe they feel like he's somebody that could do some of what Xavier Betts did last year and somebody who could fill sort of that X receiver role on the outside. But at the very least, he's providing depth this year. He's a former, touted prospect, somebody who has done it at the major college level in the Big 12 last year, who has a rapport with Casey Thompson from their time as Longhorns together. So it's certainly not a bad addition, but it feels like almost sort of a luxury sort of addition where this isn't somebody who's critical to Nebraska's success in 2022, but they feel like they can, develop into a really good player, if not this year, then down the road for sure.
And it also looks like the writing's on the wall. The days of divisions in college football seem to be passing, although this upcoming year you still have the Big Ten East and Big Ten West, it looks like. But moving on from that, we're talking about pods and 3-5-5 and a bunch of new terminology we're going to have to get used to. Are you going to miss divisions in football for Nebraska? As, of course, they've been in the Big Ten West and the Legends and the Big 12 North for, since they joined the Big 12.
I will. If it goes that direction, I will miss divisions. I think the Big Ten West sort of had a certain character to it. You think about all the stops that Nebraska's made every year. I will not miss trips to West Lafayette every other year or to Champaign necessarily, but some of those other venues are pretty cool. The thing about knocking out divisions from Nebraska's perspective is in my opinion, it makes their chase of a Big Ten title all the more difficult, right? Because in a division setting, if you win the West, then you're in a one-game scenario with Ohio State or Michigan or whoever to win the league. And now, you're essentially competing against all of those teams all year. And so if you're 8-4 in, late October in a divisional format, you're right in that thing. You're trying to win that West title. You're trying to advance the Big 12 title or Big 10 title game. But if you're just talking, winning percentage, then 8-4 has probably got you out of the conversation by that point. You're looking way up at Ohio State, Michigan, and some of the other powers at the top. So I hope that it doesn't take away some of the drama and the interest and the adrenaline of the race. I think it will strengthen ultimately the conference championship week because you truly will have the best two teams. And as we know, the West has not fared well in that game. I just wonder if you're beefing up that championship game potentially at the expense of, many weeks of conversation and drama before it.
Yeah, I see that too. Obviously, it'll help Nebraska's scheduling, kind of bringing different people in. And I guess we'll just pray that Nebraska doesn't get put in a pod with Purdue and Illinois for your sake. So we'll kind of see how that goes moving forward. He's Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald. Thanks once again, Evan, for joining us today.
Hey, thanks, Bach.
All right, there he goes. Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald. Strick had a little bit of business to attend to, but he might be back. He might be back for a shootout with Strick. Your chance to win $15 to Buffalo Wings and Rings here on 93.7 The Ticket on the block. If he is not back, well, you just have to beat me, I guess. We'll have Nick jump in and give us some trivia. So either way, give us a call right now, 402-464-5685. First one in line, we'll have a chance to win $15 to Buffalo Wings and Rings. What will the topic of the game show be? I'm not sure. We still got some work to do over there. Nate's getting it wrapped up there. But we'll be right back here on 93.7 The Ticket.
Shopping for insurance can be a tedious and frustrating task, but the agents at Brokers Insurance Agency will do the work for you. They have partnered with over 20 of the best insurance carriers in the nation, which allows them to do the shopping all for you. Whether you're looking for business insurance or employee benefits for your company, or you're looking to save money on your home and auto insurance, Brokers Insurance Agency has the agents and solutions to help meet your goals. Call 402-420-5353 or email staff at brokersinsurancene.com.
Brown Shoe Fit is gearing up for spring with new inventory on the way. They're stocking up on new spring sandals and athletic shoes daily in brands like Brooks, Hoka, Keen, Merrell, On, and many, many more. Browns has the local professionals to get the proper fit, aided by their high-tech foot scanner by Atrax. Spring is the season to be active and busy. Don't let your feet lose their support with old rundown shoes or sandals. Stop by Brown's Shoe Fit today, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
Southeast Community College is training tomorrow's workforce today with our nearly 60 career and technical programs. We are doing our part to help employers fill vacancies during this current labor shortage, graduating students with skill sets employers are seeking. We're also helping to upskill the workforce by adding short-term credentials like certificates in many programs so that employees can get retraining quickly. Learn more about upskilling with SCC at southeast.edu/academics. SCC, your path to possible.
Life after college has been great, but paying off my student loans, not so great. I needed a fast way to help pay off my loans. Then I found it, a research study at Celerio. I searched the studies and found a perfect match for me. It was so easy. I earned cash for the study and paid off those student loans. Plus, I made an impact on medical research. Find a study and sign up today at helpresearch.com.
You should consider the risks of the research before you agree to participate.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals. Are you sick of mindlessly running on a treadmill or the lack of motivation to consistently work out? Whatever your challenge, Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping can help. Whether you want to lose weight, boost energy, or simply improve your overall health, you'll fit right in at Farrell's regardless of age or abilities. Build endurance with their kickboxing and strength training group fitness classes while also getting nutrition coaching. Try Farrell's now for a free week. Visit fxblincoln.com or call Jeff at 402-310-4026. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping.
There's not many things worse than having plumbing issues at your home or business, but it's even worse if the problem isn't fixed correctly. Select Plumbing gets it right the first time, and they specialize in several things: general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. Plus, they're hiring service plumbers. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Hey, it's Nicklin Hames from Nebraska Volleyball. I hate wasting time in practice, and I want to help you stop wasting your time when you're looking for an electrician. High Electric has been serving the area for over 30 years for both residential and commercial properties. They are experts in everything like remodeling, new additions, hot tub installation, and more. And they take jobs from Beatrice to Omaha and all towns, big or small, in between. Call them today at 402-466-6606 or learn more at high-electric.com.
I present the fruitcake. Long the subject of jokes, ridicule, derision, but did the fruitcake accept its place in the culinary totem pole? No! The fruitcake sought to rise to its full potential at Beatrice Bakery. Premium nuts, high-quality fruits, and the delectable trio of brandy, bourbon, and rum. Grandma's fruitcake is no punchline, but a decadent treat that packs a punch of flavor.
Check out Grandma's Fruitcake and all the delicious desserts at Beatrice Bakery. Welcome to our world of yum.
James Enterprise Incorporated, that company that hauls your gravel, rocks, and material for your farm or construction site, says thank you to the people of the healthcare community for putting yourself in the way of danger to save the public. That is what it means to be a hero and to build a beautiful legacy. This message brought to you by James Enterprise Incorporated. For all your hauling of rock, gravel, and materials, Call them at 402-432-6740. That's 402-432-6740.
It's time to play Shootout with Strick. Call now, 464-5685, to take your shot against Eric Strickland. Shootout with Strick. Brought to you by Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Time to play the game!
It's time for Shootout with Strick here on the block on 93.7 The Ticket. Your chance to win $15 to Buffalo Wings and Rings. Of course, this shootout is just either or questions with a money ball at the end. So 5 questions. The 5th one's a money ball worth 2 points. That one's an open-ended question, but you got a pretty good chance at just doing either or and just a 50-50 chance. So we got Ken here on the Honda of Lincoln hotline. And Ken, the topic of today is 2010. Were you 2010 a good year for you?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, not too bad. So you were aware of it. You were ready to roll. So you have just as good a shot as Strick does here. Strick, we've been asking you about your years. How was your 2010, if you can think back?
Not many memories on 2000. Nothing jumps out at me on 2010. So
yeah, just a complete wash of a year. There's no reason, but at least
I was around, but I just don't. Yeah, nothing grandiose.
Yeah, that happens. There are years that go by where you're just like, that's not as, there's landmark years, and then there's just other years that go by. So I guess that could be a 2010 for you, but maybe you paid a little bit more attention to it than you thought. As we'll run through these questions here, we'll get Strick's score, and then we'll get to Kent to see who gets the win today. Strick, you're going for your 3rd straight win, so there's a lot on the line here for you. Are you ready to roll?
Yeah.
All right, we'll go in 3, 2, and 1. This famous American Idol judge leaves the show. Paula Abdul or Simon Cowell?
Simon Cowell.
That is correct. This Texans quarterback is MVP of the Pro Bowl. Matt Schaub or David Carr?
Schaub.
That is correct. They sweep the Sharks in the Stanley Cup Finals. Avalanche or Blackhawks?
Blackhawks.
That is the Blackhawks. This becomes the first animated movie to hit $1 billion. Toy Story 3 or Shrek Forever After?
Toy Story.
It was Toy Story, and this wizard would take the Kentucky Guard with the first overall pick in 2010.
John Wall.
It is John Wall. All 6 points. You act like you didn't know what was going on in 2010. These were not easy questions, and you got them all. So you are well on your way to 3 wins in a row, with only Kent standing by to tie you up. He's not going to miss one. Then he's going to go to the tiebreaker. You got that sort of confidence in you, Kent?
Well, I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, we'll see if you got it. All right, we'll go in 3, 2, and 1. He becomes the youngest player to 25,000 points. Tim Duncan or Kobe Bryant?
Kobe.
That is right. He wins his 3rd green jacket at the Masters by 3 strokes. Phil Mickelson or Tiger Woods?
Tiger Woods.
It was actually Phil. The Athletics pitcher becomes the 19th perfect game in MLB history. Dallas Braden or Tim Hudson?
Tim Hudson.
It's actually Dallas Braden. She released the 2010 Billboard Song of the Year, I'm Ready. Alicia Keys or Beyonce?
Alicia Keys.
That is correct. And this Yankee slugger becomes the quickest player to 600 home runs.
Who was that? I can't remember his name.
It ended up being Alex Rodriguez.
A-Rod.
Yeah, A-Rod. There you go. So ultimately, you did not get all of them correct, but Strick is going to get the win today. But thanks for calling in and playing today, Kent.
Yeah, thanks.
Also, don't give up now. The 3rd caller wins on behalf of Strick. Call right now, 402-464-5685. Strick plays for the people. He got another win for the people. As I got to get a shout out right here.
Flawless victory.
And you're on fire now. I don't have the on fire soundbite like I said I would get for you, but we'll just give you one of these.
Shakalaka!
I don't think we can hear you, Strick.
You're supposed to be on that, Boxster.
Oh, I know. You're on fire, 3-0. I could get your music played out of the break. Maybe coming up next. I have to go find it though. We'll play your music coming out of the break since you earned it today. Getting all 6 points. You didn't miss one. I wanted to remind everybody, by the way, that tomorrow on the block, as well as the Ticket Water Cooler, is out inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street. It is Double Eagle Golf. So from 3 to 6 p.m., come join us out there. Long drive contest on the golf simulator, so that'll be a lot of fun. There are 5 of those golf simulators, 5 different golf simulator bays to play on. That is the most in town by far. Full bowl with drink specials tomorrow as well. Awesome prices for stopping by and food available from Soulful Casino. So we're going to have a lot of fun at Double Eagle Golf tomorrow. We'd like you to join us for the ticket water cooler and on the block. And before we get to break, it obviously has been a busy day, and we get the baseball and softball going. I just wanted to, the stats have kind of been coming out about this Oklahoma softball team. We know Oklahoma State beat them, or we don't maybe know that, but Nebraska played Oklahoma State in the regional. But I was just amazed to kind of see the stat from Oklahoma softball is that it's outscored opponents 500 to 47 this season, which is quite a difference to begin with. They've actually had the run ruling where you kind of get to the point where, you have too many runs. They stop the game. They've done that in 68.5% of their games. 37 out of 54, they've beaten their opponents so bad that they had to call the game off. So if you're looking for a leader or a team to cheer against, I suppose, or just a team to be amazed by, Oklahoma softball is just that. I was astounded by those numbers.
Well, I mean, it was crazy that even in the tournament, I think Oklahoma State upset them, right?
Yeah, they're not unbeatable.
Yeah.
And Nebraska was that close with Oklahoma State. It just didn't quite get it done. Then, of course, lost to North Texas. But again, a great season from Nebraska softball this past year and Big Ten champs. So nothing to be ashamed of. They had a heck of a year, but would have been fun to see them get their run at Oklahoma eventually. But they probably had to make the College World Series for that. But better luck next year, obviously, for the softball team. And again, a great season for them regardless. We're going to take a quick break here on the block on 93.7 The Ticket. When we come back, let's do an Ask Strick segment. So get your questions ready. It's time to ask Strick, well, whatever you want to. I'll answer some questions too if you want to. But in any case, 402-464-5685 is the Sartor Heyman text line. You can ask Strick just about anything. I know Nate's getting his questions ready. He wants to know about your jersey and some of your jersey choices over the years. So we'll see. We'll get that going coming up next year on the block. It's Ask Strick on 93.7 The Ticket.
Nominations for the Serve Nebraska Step Forward Awards are now open. Volunteers are making Nebraska communities stronger every day. Help us celebrate their hard work by nominating the volunteers in your life. The Step Forward Awards are the most prestigious awards for volunteerism in the state, and honorees are hand-selected by Nebraska's governor. Learn more about the Step Forward Awards and submit a nomination by July 1st at serve.nebraska.gov. Paid for by Serve Nebraska, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
Joined by Sam Cook, 39 years old from Seward, Jake. Played 16 seasons with Baltimore. Why do you think it worked so well for you in Baltimore?
With the success of our special teams over the 16-year career, never left the field without feeling like I got something out of it each day. And I always try to find a way to make sure I got each day got better.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and it's been a great start here to the year as 2022 new inventory continues to roll in. Our pre-owned lot remains full, and we are selling at a record pace. I was just down at Koppel talking about a new order for myself, and they let me know I can actually start ordering a 2023 here later this spring. So stop on in to get your new 2022, your pre-owned vehicle, or maybe talk about ordering here for 2023. Check them out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did.
Shopping for insurance can be a tedious and frustrating task, but the agents at Brokers Insurance Agency will do the work for you. They have partnered with over 20 of the best insurance carriers in the nation, which allows them to do the shopping all for you. Whether you're looking for business insurance or employee benefits for your company, or you're looking to save money on your home and auto insurance, Brokers Insurance Agency has the agents and solutions to help meet your goals. Call 402-420-5353 or email staff at brokersinsurancene.com.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric always makes safety a top priority for our home and office. In under just 1 hour, their team installed the state-of-the-art air scrubber system directly into our existing HVAC ductwork. This technology purifies the air and reduces exposure to common bacteria and viruses. creating a safer breathing environment for my family. Action delivers honest quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
Hey, it's Nelson. Isn't it a great feeling when a company has your budget in mind instead of trying to squeeze it all out of you? That's why Caterpillar Vapes has been voted a fan favorite among premium e-juice, CBD, and Delta 8 customers year after year. And now they're here in Lincoln. Returning customers are always enjoying weekly deals and perks, and new Caterpillar Vapes customers get 50% off their entire first purchase. A company that cares about their customers. Crazy, right? In a hurry? Try the drive-thru. Caterpillar Vapes, 2601 North 11th Street, and online at caterpillarvapes.com.
In today's day and age, people are trying to do more and more projects by themselves. That might be better on the wallet, but it can also lead to painful sounds like this. Ow! Poor guy, trying to do wiring all by himself. Let's have another listen. It's just not worth it. Don't hurt yourself or make things worse than they are already. For any of your electric needs, call Joe at Ambition Electric today at 402-217-3415 or go to ambitionelectric.com.
John Henry's Plumbing, heating and air.
When it comes to your home or business, we know you have options, and that's why John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning gives you just that. Options. We have plumbing, heating, and cooling memberships to serve all of your residential and commercial needs. We want to ensure you, your family, and your business are safe. Visit our website, jhlincoln.com, to find out more or call us at
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, heating and air.
Hey, it's Bach. Join me and Eric Strickland this Thursday at the brand new Double Eagle Golf Simulator Bar on West O Street inside the Kinetic Sports Complex from 3 to 6 p.m. That's this Thursday at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. This is On the Block with Strick and Bach. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
93.7 The Ticket veteran and Ortega connoisseur, Jake Bakoven.
I like Ortega, and I like pepper.
Coming at you live from the Coppel Chevrolet GMC studios in the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This is On the Block with Strick and Bach. Hold up.
Welcome back on the block. E. Strick here with Jake Bakoven on the block with Strick and Bach. We thank you guys for joining us once again, 4 to 6 every night, right here, Monday through Friday. The time is approaching, Bach. It's getting really close before I start to make this trek.
Yeah.
You know, I may have to call in because I'll probably be on the road at some point, but we'll see if I can get stopped somewhere and you know, maybe do like we did on the boat, just have a drive segment.
Are you going to U-Haul all the way?
Yeah, I decided to go ahead and do it. You know, sometimes I didn't think at first I was going to have them do it for me and then just kind of just come in. But then I was just like, you know what, this is kind of a peaceful moment in transition when you're just kind of driving. And you know, I like to do that every now and then. I think at least once or twice a year, I like to get in the car, whether it's my car or rent, and just drive somewhere. I don't, you know, maybe from here to Charlotte or from Dallas to Nebraska or, you know, something like that, where I just one road trip. I think I like to do that because I think it's peaceful. I think we got away from what we used to do when we were younger. I mean, I remember me and my dad, there were times when we dang near went cross country. I mean, from Alabama to California, and we'd take 3 days and we'd stop at hotels and swim and eat, and we would cook food and we would eat the little, you know, we would have the chicken because you can eat the chicken cold.
Oh, yeah.
We would take some bread and some chips and we would just hit the road with some drinks, and we would be on the road. And it wasn't like the movies where you said, are we there yet? We just kept riding until we got to wherever. And we used to do that in my dad used to have an old Trans Am, like one of them, the old Firebirds.
Yeah.
And we would do it in that. I mean, it was tight. I'm glad I was little back then. I don't think I could have did it with, with the leg room that it has now.
Nice. Were you ever a sunflower seed guy when you're on the road? Or do you have any
Nah.
things you go back to?
I don't think I really got into sunflower seeds until I played baseball, and it was just kind of just the thing to do, just to keep from falling asleep in the dugout sometimes. so yeah, that was really the only time I really got into sunflower seeds. Nah, man. And then the crazy thing about it is we didn't have. It's a lot easier to go road tripping now than it probably was back when I was young. I mean, we didn't have the equipment, the games, the little toys, the things that you can kind of pass over some time. We didn't have the video streaming on the entertainment systems that they have now, and we didn't have that stuff. So it was road trip was conversation, games, looking at the cars, and we would play it's mine type games. This mine, first one.
Something you spot out there.
Yeah, we would just play just different games. We figured it out, man. And I think that's a missed thing about the old days, Bach, man. I mean, like, I just remember getting outside. We would stay outside. I mean, I'm talking about in the heat until the sun went down. We would play baseball with a stick and a tennis ball, and that, I think that honed in some of the skills. I mean, just think about a little stick trying to hit a tennis ball. I mean, you had to be proficient with that thing to, you had to have precision with the way you put that thing together, because we didn't have bats. We would just create games, and
like those double rims basketball on the basketball court.
Yeah.
You gotta squish those. You cannot hit the rim, or you're like, it's not going in.
It's not going in. And then we didn't have nets either. Shoot, I mean,
yeah.
the kids of the day are spoiled. I mean, they're spoiled, right? They get to go in the air-conditioned gyms and all of that stuff. We were outside sweating it up and stinking and all that stuff, man.
Adjust to the wind that day for your shot.
Right.
I liked the early 2000s. Not that I had this, but like it was very cool to get like TV screens put in the like seats of your car and stuff. I think that's passed by now. That obviously everybody's got a phone or an iPad, so why have it in there? I know some cars still do, but that was like really cool. That meant you had a pretty cool car for road tripping if you had like a screen in there. And I think now it's just like, well, just get your cell phone.
Right.
So even the cool things some days pass over pretty quickly, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was really fun. I mean, but also gas was cheap.
Oh, that.
So
you better watch
road
out
trip.
that for your road trip.
Yeah, road tripping was all right. Gas was cheap, but I thought about it, man. I was like, okay, I'm gonna pay somebody to make this trek for me, and why not just keep that money to myself and just do it myself?
Yeah, I mean, pay them and then have meet them down there. Might as well, just do it yourself.
Yeah, just do it myself. I'm starting. The economy is not like it used to. I think in the past I would have just been like, okay, I'll fly out there. I'll meet you there. Rent a car for a few days. Car will be here in 2-3 days, and good. But you start thinking about things like a lot more now, like decisions, and people really do have to make decisions now. I mean, think about that, man. Baby formula.
Yeah.
Like if you haven't breastfed your child and you've been consistently, looking at baby formula, now you're having trouble getting that for your baby.
Yeah.
Those types of things you got to think about nowadays. Like what's in the grocery store. Like I used to go to the grocery store, Bach, and I would go in there and just buy a whole bunch of stuff and bring it home, and then some stuff would sit in there, or vegetables and stuff like that, and I'd eat a few of them, and then I'd cook a few, and then days would go by, you're traveling or you're doing, and then it gets bad, and you're just throwing stuff out. Like I'm like going in there now and like just getting what I need. I'm okay. I'm going to eat this for the next 3 days or whatever, some canned goods, boom, boom. But I come out with a few bags. I used to come out with a whole 2 carts, But yeah, it's different, man. It's different now.
Have you done the grocery shopping where they already like they do it for you? Basically, you just click what you want online and then go pick up the bags.
No, I haven't done that one yet.
I haven't done it either. I don't know why. My friend swears by it, but I haven't gotten to that yet. But in any case, these are the type of questions that we want from you. It's Ask Strick time here on 93.7 The Ticket, the Honda of Lincoln hotline, 402-464-5685 if you'd like to call in, or the Sutter Heyman text line, same number, 402-464-5685. We're going to be joined by Nate here in a second as he's got some questions for you. Also off the text line, Kelly says, what is Strick's go-to duo in NBA Jam on Super Nintendo? Were you a big NBA Jam guy?
Yeah. I played NBA Jam. I think I liked if I remember, it was Scott Skiles and Shaq.
Oh yeah, with the Magic.
I was rolling Scott Skiles and Shaq. Yeah, because I knew Shaq was gonna bang everything that was in, and then Scott Skiles, y'all be sleeping on Scott. Scott used to knock some stuff down.
Right? Yeah,
he
yeah.
can shoot. Yeah. So I used to roll with them.
Yeah, that's not bad. I also saw this. I wanted to ask you I think the mansion from The Conjuring, or maybe it's a house, maybe not quite a mansion, but sold for $1.5 million. Would you be interested?
Negative.
Yeah,
it's a hard no.
No.
Before you can even ask the question, that's a hard no.
If it was a lot cheaper,
not even if it was cheaper, I'm not going in there. If you know that paranormal activities has been going on up in this spot, what's stopping it from returning other than the blood? Listen, I'm not doing, putting stuff all sage in and whatever people are doing these days. I'm not doing all that. I'm going to pray and give thanks and walk in, but I'm not walking into a fight that's already against me. No, I can't do that.
Yeah.
I can't
I always thought it made sense if you're buying a house or you're going to live somewhere, maybe you should Ouija board and see if there's any spirits going on there.
Listen, I'm not doing that either. I think I was scared out of my mind in high school when I was like, y'all moving it. No, no, I'm not. I don't play. Like, I rarely will watch movies like that in my house. If I'm going to do it, it's going to be in somebody else's house. I'm not watching it in mine.
You don't bring those bad
The Ring, you listen, The Ring taught me a lot of lessons about what can pop through the TV. I'm not letting nothing pop through no TV on Stricky. No. I don't do it.
Yeah. That was a good movement that they made, because it's always like, well, what are you afraid of? It's just on the television screen. And The Ring brought it to life. It's like, oh, you can climb right out of your television screen. You're not safe.
Have you ever seen Jalal's? The Jalal's, they're like a prank like thing on YouTube, and
I think I've heard of it. I don't think I've
seen it. They do all these little pranks, right? And they did a ring prank where they were like in a store or something like that. And you were watching the TVs, and then all of a sudden it just starts flickering, and and then they crawl out, and they thought it was part of the show, but then she gets out, and they took off running. And listen, man, pranks these days, somebody gonna end up getting popped. Somebody's gonna have a whop. Somebody's gonna have a whop, and they ain't gonna. They shooting at spirits too these days. It's sad. I don't want to advocate for that, but I'm just saying. I'm just being realistic. That
don't scare people.
People are pulling these pranks, and I've seen people get beat up and all kinds of crazy stuff trying to do these pranks. It's crazy.
Yeah, pranks are big, especially all over the internet. You make your little jokes, and a lot of people are getting a lot of followers off of that. I've seen them get pretty close to getting too serious there. Claytonio John asks, why are you moving back to Nebraska, Strick?
My partner Jake Bakoven needs somebody in studio regularly, so
that's right.
That's pretty much what it's coming back to do. 93-7, the ticket has been great. I've been enjoying this process. This has been outside of my comfort zone. It's something that I wasn't expecting to do, or was studying to do, or pressing to do, and getting to know DP and a lot of the crew out there, and coming on and just kind of tapping in on different shows. It really invigorated me, and so we've created On the Block, and it's been fun, and now it's just time to do it together.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun. We can't wait for you to get here early June, right?
Early June.
Yeah, that's not too far away. We're getting toward the end of May. Let's bring in Nate, the producer, obviously of this show, obviously from the Ticket Water Cooler as well. Nate, got any questions for Strick?
Rick, you'll be with me because Bach is going to be at the College World Series.
Yes, it's going to be me and Nate Dogg
for a few weeks. How about
it's going to be me and Nate Dogg. Yes, it's going to be it's going to be wild and crazy going on inside the studio. We're kicking Bach out for good, what a week and a half, Bach?
It's a few weeks, yeah.
A few weeks.
Yeah, a few weeks. Yeah, you know, I don't know. The door may be locked by the time you try to.
Yeah, I know. I'm a little bit worried.
Crazy.
Nate just takes over when I leave.
Well, you better watch where you're stepping there, Buck.
On the block with Nate Dogg and Strick.
We're gonna have to go up with some type of rhyme that goes with Nate.
Yeah.
Out the gate.
There you go.
Strick and Nate. Oh, how about that?
Oh.
Strick, the one question I have for you, if you would have given baseball like a serious shot and stuck with it, how far do you think you could have gone?
I think I could have made it. With what they were trying to do, I had just became a top 10 prospect. And when you're a top 10 prospect in the whole organization, they're looking to move you. As long as you show progression, they're looking to move you. Actually, that when we had the discussion, there was talk that they wanted to send me up to Kankakee in Illinois, which was the AA league. They were so if I had made the choice to stay baseball, they were looking to transition me to the AA team. So then there's nobody up there. With the Marlins at that time, it wasn't like with the Yankees where there was David Justice and there was Deion Sanders and these type of Gary Shetfields and there weren't that type of Stapleton in the organization. Usually when there's Stapletons like that, you get traded. I actually played in the same leagues with Johnny Damon, and he watched him progress and yeah, so it would have been possible. I was a line drive hitter. If I hit home runs, when I hit home runs, they were going out quick. It wasn't like I hit bombs. I was line drive in the gap, doubles, triples, some stolen bases, above average arm. So yeah, I think I could have made it in one position in the outfield. I was primarily in right field, but could play center, but they liked me in right field. And if you're in right field, you got to have some form of an arm. You can't just be in right field because you've got to make first to third throws, not only with accuracy, but with a little pop on it, as guys are going from first to third on ground balls hidden out of the infield. So you got to be able to make those throws.
Do you ever think about that team, especially? I mean, who knows what would happen, obviously, with trades and stuff. You obviously lived through that in the NBA, but the early, 2000 Miami team that won the World Series, you think he probably could have been involved?
Yeah, there were some of my teammates that I actually played with that was on that team. So there were like Edgar Renteria was our shortstop on that team. So I think Dave Berg, he ended up making it with the Orioles. Vic Derensburg was my roommate. He was a pitcher for the Marlins for some periods, a left-handed pitcher. Tony Saunders, who, man, he was with Tampa Bay with the Tampa Bay Rays, but he had a mean changeup. And Tony, he was on the mound and he went to throw and he literally threw his arm out. And it was one of the wildest things I saw. And so he lost his career off of that. But yeah, there were some guys that I got a chance to play with that actually moved on up the ladder.
Well, it's kind of too weird with the Marlins is that they actually do a pretty good job with their system and bringing them up. And then once they then win a World Series. I mean, they did this a few different years apart with different groups where they bring them up, basically win for a few years, and then they can't afford to pay for them or won't pay for them or whatever the system is. They feel confident they can get the next group of guys up in there and run.
Yeah, they try to do it in system. I mean, for some reason they don't get much traction. You would think that, and that's why they really try to do a good job of hiring Latin players, because it's very Cuban and Latin dominated in Miami, and so when there's a Latin presence on the team, they get some support. But for some reason, it just doesn't do well. I mean, even Miami Heat, it's sparse. Just Miami's got so much to do down there that it's not like they're such, gung-ho advocates for football, baseball, or basketball. It just depends.
Yeah, it is interesting. I find that fascinating too, especially when like LeBron was playing there, and sometimes we have the arenas.
Yeah.
The ticket to get in there is got to cost quite a bit, but so we'll see maybe more tonight when Miami has got their game 5 coming up.
The Hurricanes are like that too. The Hurricanes don't do very well at all with fans.
Yeah.
They're not good. Yeah, nobody cares, which is also unfortunate because that's the swagger type of university. I know we have our own feelings about Miami from the past, but it's hard to believe in their swag when their own fans don't show up and buy into it. So that's kind of frustrating. Strick, how about this off the text line? A favorite candy bar for you?
I am a Snickers guy.
Oh, yeah.
There was one that I used to like when I was younger growing up. It was a candy bar called Whatchamacallit.
I've never had one of those, but I've heard of it.
I've never heard of that.
You never heard of it?
I've never heard of it.
What was that one? Primarily chocolate?
It was chocolate, but it kind of had like a crispy, like a rice nugget kind of, and it was all kind of ingrained together. And it was kind of crunchy with a chocolatey taste to it. Yeah, it was good. I like Butterfingers, but they just stick to your teeth too much. I mean, gosh, I got I've got caps now and stuff, so they'll rip your caps out trying to eat Butterfingers.
You gotta brush your teeth immediately after.
Man, immediately. Yeah, they'll tear you all up.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. What's the now? What am I thinking of? They're like it's similar to Captain Crunch. Where like I love Captain Crunch cereal, but it scrapes your mouth while you're eating.
Cornflakes?
You think cornflakes?
No. You're talking about the Captain Crunch.
Yeah,
Captain Crunch, and then they got the little berries and stuff in it.
Yeah.
I like the ones with the berries.
It's like corn. It's corn pops. What are
those
they?
ones are good. I like those.
Corn pops.
Those stick to the roof of your mouth. Those are terrible.
The ones that I really used to like was the Sugar Smacks.
Oh yeah, that
Sugar
frog,
Smacks
dude.
were awesome.
Yeah. I forgot about that one.
Sugar
I don't know if
Smacks were
that's
off
still
the
out
chain.
there.
I don't even know
Pebbles.
if they make them. Fruity Pebbles is a classic. Right now, if I don't eat much cereal anymore, but when I do, or Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Oh yeah, that's always good. You like the ones that leave the milk tasting a little bit better afterwards. Both those do a very good job of that.
Reese's Puffs.
Oh yeah,
I didn't get into that one. But that is one that was out there. I didn't really get into that. Now I like the Reese's Cups.
Oh yeah, I'm a Reese's Pieces guy myself. If we're talking Reese's.
You can only get those at the movie theaters, Bach.
I know.
So you must be a movie buff.
I do love movie theater. I like overpaying for my chocolate and popcorn.
The movie for me that's coming up this weekend, movie of the weekend, and I normally do HBO Max if I'm going to watch them. I don't go as much as I used to, but I will be going to see Top Gun.
Oh yeah, looking forward to that one.
I will be going to see that one, and I would like to see it in an IMAX if I get a chance to see it. And the reason is I want all the smoke of the engines and the roaring and the banking and all that stuff. I want to hear all of it. That's what I like. I want to see it.
Do you
IMAX.
know who the enemy was in the first one?
They tried to make it look like it was China, but
did they? I don't think they ever said.
I don't think so. I mean, but they had the star on it, so you couldn't tell if it was Russia, China, or whatever. Or actually, it might have been North Korea. I no one could really tell. The guy had the glasses on, and they were the dark glasses, and the crazy thing is they were flying I think T-38s. And T-38s are really their training modules, and there's no enemy out there that flew T-38s. It was an American training airplane mostly.
Actually, from the first Top Gun, there was a side character involved. Just one of the other flyers that was kind of had a small role. I found a mistake there where they had like one scene where they showed
duplicated it.
He had his glasses on, and then like his sunglasses on. And then they went back to whoever else was talking. And then they went back. His sunglasses were on.
Yeah.
And then they went back, and then they came back to Tom.
They were on again.
Back on. So
yeah, they have those.
Constantly putting his glass on or off.
They have
or
those.
I found a mistake made.
Well, something about a Stricky that most people don't know is that I was really big into simulators as a young kid. I would fly F-16 simulators, F-15s. They were computer mod. They're not as near like DC. I think there's DCAS now. The simulators are like real. Like once I get settled or whatever, like I would really put one together and fly the DCS because I think it's dope. But I probably would have went to flight school if I would have not, I think the Air Force Academy was recruiting me, Naval Academy. I probably would have went Navy because I wanted to fly off carriers. Yeah, man, I was really into it. And had I not been good at, had I not been good athletically, I probably would have went. But I got a chance to watch and observe David Robinson's situation. And that 4 years that he had to serve and missing those 4 years of potential, playing at the next level, I just wasn't willing to do.
Yeah. When did he do that? Was that right after he graduated?
Right after the Navy. Yeah, right after the Navy. He went in and served, and so he missed, I think, 3 or 4 years. Yeah.
Did the Spurs draft him and then he went? Or was it the other way till
That's how they got Tim Duncan, wasn't it? Because he hadn't been on the team yet, and then he came back when they drafted Tim Duncan because they got Tim Duncan first overall. So I think they came at the same time.
Well, I know that Robinson was the back half of his career by the time that Duncan got there. So I'm not sure what happened there.
So maybe not.
I think it's out for the year or something. But
something had to have happened for them to get the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah, I'd have to go back and look at what that was. That was interesting because the Twin Towers. I mean, they did pretty well when they took over. You were in the league at that time. That was they kind of went from basically from worst to first pretty quickly in a shortened year, I believe, too.
Yeah, in the 99. Yeah, in that 99 year. Yeah, they won that championship.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think that should wrap up Ask Strick, although if you have any more questions, you can throw them out there. Tad says, whatchamacallits were the bomb. Axel says Axel says that was actually a really good description of whatchamacallits. And Depressed Tim Miles fan makes a hashtag dad joke as he says, Strick is always saying no cap, but he just said he's got caps. So there you go. There's your little joke of the day. From a Depressed Tim Miles fan. He's going to stay depressed. I mean, I guess Tim Miles has got another job and is doing well, but that's still kind of a funny name for him. All right, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, it's time for Hitting the Hardwood. Very important game tonight, Game 5 between Miami and Boston. Also, the Mavs fought off elimination last night. Also, the All-Pro teams were announced. So we got plenty to go through here next on The Block on 93.7 The Ticket.
John Henry's Plumbing, heating and air.
When it comes to your home or business, we know you have options, and that's why John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning gives you just that. Options. We have plumbing, heating, and cooling memberships to serve all of your residential and commercial needs. We want to ensure you, your family, and your business are safe. Visit our website, jhlincoln.com, to find out more or call us at
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, heating and air.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KSL Weather. Sponsored by Security First Bank. A relationship you can count on.
Your first alert weather forecast tonight. Rain showers continue. Windy and cool. Overnight lows 48. Showers in the morning, mostly sunny and warmer in the afternoon for your Thursday. Highs right around 68. I'm MTV Chief Forecaster Ken Fountain for 93.7 The Ticket.
Another packed summer sports season means it's time to get to N Street Drive-In to fill up on all your beverage needs. Stop by for great deals on May's Beer of the Month for Boulevard Brewing, Tallgrass Brewing, and Glacial Till Ciders. Also, make sure to download the new N Street Drive-In app to order online and to set up delivery right to your front door. And don't forget their top-notch Crowler fill system. N Street Drive-In, your one-stop beverage stop at 1801 O Street. There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
Spring is here. Are you giving your yard the best chance at being healthy and green? Call Penner Sprinkler and Lawn to get your sprinklers ready to go for the season if they haven't been working properly. They're also scheduling installs for new sprinkler systems if you don't have one. So make sure you contact them early to get a bid as soon as possible. Plus, they're your one place to go for 5-step fertilizer and pesticide application and lawn aeration. Call Penner Sprinkler and Lawn today at 402-413-1215.
Brown Shoe Fit is gearing up for spring with new inventory on the way. They're stocking up on new spring sandals and athletic shoes daily in brands like Brooks, Hoka, Keen, Merrell, On, and many, many more. Browns has the local professionals to get the proper fit, aided by their high-tech foot scanner by Atrax. Spring is the season to be active and busy. Don't let your feet lose their support with old rundown shoes or sandals. Stop by Brown's Shoe Fit today, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
Time to replace your heating and air? Get utility rebates and big discounts from Bryant. Call 467-1111 or go to BryantLincoln.com. Bryant Air Conditioning and Heating.
Hey, sports fans. Rico here with HIS Auto Care 70th and Van Dorn. Carfax recently awarded us as a top-rated auto service center for 2020, and Lincoln Choice Awards voted us as the 2021 top independent auto repair center. Call us at 402-488-8934 for superior service bumper to bumper. Mention this ad and get 7% off. Doesn't get any better than that. Rico for his Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Hey, it's Nelson. Isn't it a great feeling when a company has your budget in mind instead of trying to squeeze it all out of you? That's why Caterpillar Vapes has been voted a fan favorite among premium e-juice, CBD, and Delta-8 customers year after year. And now they're here in Lincoln. Returning customers are always enjoying weekly deals and perks, and new Caterpillar Vapes customers get 50% off their entire first purchase. A company that cares about their customers. Crazy, right? In a hurry? Try the drive-thru. Caterpillar Vapes, 2601 North 11th Street, and online at caterpillarvapes.com.
Hey, it's Nicklin Hames from Nebraska Volleyball. I hate wasting time in practice, and I want to help you stop wasting your time when you're looking for an electrician. High Electric has been serving the area for over 30 years for both residential and commercial properties. They are experts in everything like remodeling, new additions, hot tub installation, and more. And they take jobs from Beatrice to Omaha and all towns, big or small, in between. Call them today at 402-466-6606 or learn more at high-electric.com.
Back to On the Block with Strick and Bach on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back with Hitting the Hardwood with Strick and Bach on the block. 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. We found that the Warriors came up short and the Mavs were able to stave off elimination in a strange game. Woo! Could it have been a little bit of horseplay going on out there? Could it have been a little bit of what we just talked about? What was it? What was the movie we were just talking about, Bob?
Which one? Top Gun?
No, the one.
Oh, The Conjuring.
Was it some conjuring going on in American Airlines Arena Center on last night? So
it looked like it.
It was kind of crazy, but rain falling all in. But it was raining threes for the Mavericks, who were able to stave off elimination. Did a wonderful job on last night by shooting crazily from the three-point land. I think Reggie Bullock finally came to life after going 0 for 10 in his shooting. That was kind of crazy in itself. They finally got Dorian Finney-Smith off the snide in order to go 20 for 43 from downtown and not falling off the Lord and going fishing. They almost went fishing, but it didn't happen. And the crazy thing about it, though, Bach, is this: live by the 3, die by the 3. And we see that's what's been going on in a lot of these series, is they've been living by it and dying by it. Something to think about also in the series is this: the Dallas Mavericks, when Jalen Brunson, they're 0-3 when Jalen Brunson doesn't score at least 15 points. And they're 3-0 when Dorian Finney gets more than 15 points. Feed these young men, Luka. And when Luka has 40 points, it's bad for the Mavs. They're 2-6 in playoff history if he has 4. But when he's in that range, that upper 20s, 30 with 10 rebounds and almost a triple-double, they win consistently. They're going to have to do something in order to not go over the edge against the Golden State Warriors going forward, because there's no team in the history of basketball that has ever come from a 3-0. Now, there's been teams that have come from 3-1, but never a 3-0 in history of basketball. Bach, how you view it?
Yeah, it's hard to imagine that happening, but at least they didn't get swept. That's always at least makes you feel a little bit better that you fought and got one through. It's interesting strategy from the Warriors too, inserting some of the younger players like Kuminga in pretty early, and then just calling everything back. They basically gave up on the game, and then their backup squad started hitting everything and getting back into the game. So eventually they put Steph Curry back in there, but it was a little bit too late at that time. But Golden State ended up losing this game by 10, despite outscoring Dallas by 19 points in the fourth quarter. So
they're never out of it, Bach.
Yeah. And even the backups this time is what kind of got them back into it. But yeah, it was interesting with the leaking. The leaking, by the way, going on right by the Golden State bench. Is that happenstance, or is that something somebody set up over there? I thought that was kind of interesting. It's been a while since I've seen a leak, weather delay in a building. But,
yeah, we've seen lights go out. We've seen domes collapse. We've seen all types of stuff happen, but I don't think we've ever seen in a modernized arena such as that one to have rain just pouring in. But yeah, that's the schizophrenic weather that Dallas seems to have. I mean, it's no different than up in Nebraska. I mean, it'll be 85, and then it'll be 35, and then the wind will be blowing. That stuff will start coming off roofs, and then the next day the sun will be up and hot at 95, and then the next day it'll be 55. I mean, it's crazy like that. So it's no telling what type of wind was going on outside and what opened up some rafters, but they got to get that fixed if they want to hope to come back and not have the same problem going forward.
Yeah, I think it's kind of funny because they were like zooming into on like Mark Cuban, and you wonder if he's like kind of embarrassed that it's happening. Luka was kind of joking around with Curry. All the players just kind of got together and just kind of waited it out. So I thought that was really interesting. But yeah, credit to the role players of the Mavericks for stepping up and fulfilling their role. Like you said, Luka, one assist away from triple-double, 30, 14, and 9, which is seen as an okay game for Luka. That's how good he's been. But again, getting his teammates involved, and even Spencer Dinwiddie, who didn't have his best shooting performance, but 8 assists from him as well. So a lot of guys playing their roles, stepping up, and that's what they need all series long. It's been hit and miss all playoffs long, not just all series long, for those role players with the Mavs. And it's hard to imagine them pulling it off 3 more times. But like you've been saying, man, it's so much better than getting swept to at least feel like you got a punch in.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, well, let's shift over and talk about the Miami Heat. That game will start off on tonight, where the Miami Heat and the Boston Celtics, the 1 and 2 seeds, are tied at 2-2. There doesn't seem to be any trends that are emerging out of this right now. It just seems to be like we bust your tail, you bust us back. You get us at the crib, and we smash you at the crib. I mean, it's just been those types of things that have been going on. There have been a rundown of differences of lopsided victories and And it just doesn't seem to be any balance on what's going on over there in this particular series. You've had some crazy things that have emerged out of this series. The Miami starting lineup combined for a mere 18 points on 7 of 36 shooting as a group, as a whole. And that is 18 points, was the fewest by a starting five in a playoff game since the NBA began looking into these numbers between starters and bench players, going all the way back to 1970 to 71. So that's a crazy thing that's been happening. It's been injury plagued, and the greatest their training team in history is in the Boston Celtics, where you had multiple players go back into the locker room and pull a Paul Pierce and come back out. At least they didn't go out on a doggone wheelchair like Paul did and come back and give you buckets. But this series, man, it's up in the air. How do you view it going forward, man? Who do you think is going to, emerge and kind of take the reins and step out front?
Well, it's interesting because, the stat that was going around, especially for the Celtics and Bucks going into Game 5, was that the winner of Game 5 usually wins these series about 80% of the time. That didn't happen. The Celtics lost Game 5, then came back and won Game 6 and Game 7. So, again, I think with the Celtics, it's hard to have too much confidence. They kind of like to flirt with danger. I mean, they've been doing that a little bit in this series and, of course, with the Bucks. But I think that they're the better team. They're the deeper team. And if they play well, they should be able to win this one in the next two games in my mind. But, win one tonight, then take it home in Boston. But, like you've been saying with the NBA these days, with these teams, with the Warriors, with the Mavs, with the Celtics, with the Heat, there's no illusion of a great all-time team here. I mean, we've seen each and every one of them get blown out at different times. So they're all susceptible to that. And that's modern day NBA. That's, one team just gets hot beyond the arc and the other team can't hit anything. It's going to turn into a blowout. But so, I mean, I just pay attention to that pretty quickly. Whoever jumps on top of a 10-point lead, the other team's going to be holding their breath because they got to get going at it. As far as the injuries going into this game, I think everybody's listed as questionable. That kind of has been as of late. Tatum and maybe more importantly for the Heat, Jimmy Butler haven't shown up on the injury list, so that's good news. But the normal ones, Tyler Hero, Marcus Smart, Robert Williams, all those guys look to be sort of game time decisions. So we'll kind of see how that plays out. The Heat really need Tyler Hero, I believe. Kind of that's their big go-to guy off the bench, especially for creating his own shot. So if he's not in the game again, I think the Celtics take it home. Either way, I'm a Celtics fan. I'm trying to let my bias stick in there, but I think they're the better team, so I think they should wrap this series up.
Yeah, I think I've been saying the Celtics are probably, no matter what happens in this series, I still think they're going to win this series. It's just something about their style, the way that they play. I think it's somebody to watch out for this game because he didn't have a very good game last game. Maybe kind of looked over in this next game is Al Horford. I think watch out for him in this game. And defensively, I think, well, let me just say this. The Miami Heat are going to need another game from Bam Adebayo. They had a really good game. The only one that really showed up in any form or fashion in this last game was Victor Oladipo. So, hopefully if Hero doesn't show up, they're hoping that Victor Oladipo can do the same type of thing that he did. Get Jimmy Butler back. Kyle Lowry still a hit or miss. Still trying to find his way. But I just think that if Jaylen Brown shows up, watch the X factor in Horford. If he just gets fired up and gets geared up for this one and comes alive, we still don't know about Grant Williams. Pritchard seems to have been playing well. So that's why it's just, tune in and see what's going on in these series. They're going to play again tonight. We'll see who steps out front. Bach, any last words before we take a break?
Oh, no, just thinking the Kyle Lowry thing is that Gabe Vincent's done a really good job stepping in. I don't think they've lost a game when Kyle Lowry's been out. Obviously, he's got a lot of experience. You'd like to have him out there as an option, but I might consider starting Gabe Vincent if I was Spo at this point in time, just because of how effective he's been. And then Pritchard's just really fun to watch because offensively, he can get going really good off the dribble and can hit a three for Boston, but he gets picked on defensively. And I think that's why ultimately he's not getting the minutes that Derek White usually gets as the primary backup point guard. So I'd expect
will we see another Duncan Robinson signing?
I think so too, because he got
Duncan
hot
Robinson.
at the end of that last game. That was the one thing about a blowout. I was like, all right, we'll just have Duncan go out there with the backups, and he started hitting them. So I think it's worth a shot. They need some additional 3-point shooting.
Well, there's our segment of hitting the hardwood with Strick and Bach. We are going to take a break right now on 93.7 The Ticket at ticketfm.com. We'll come back, finish up the segment, and it may be just open discussion. We don't know. Maybe we'll take a caller or something that, I don't know. We just never know about this last segment. Just whatever the mind spurs, because it's not Thirsty Thursday. That's tomorrow. So tune in, come back. We'll be right here on the block after this.
Southeast Community College has learning centers in Falls City, Hebron, Nebraska City, Plattsmouth, Wahoo, and York so that you can take credit and non-credit classes at a center nearby without having to travel an hour or more to campus. By taking online classes and those at a learning center, you can earn your degree from SEC where and when it's convenient for you, all at a cost that won't stand in the way of your education. Learn more about SCC's learning centers at southeast.edu/learning centers. SCC, your path to possible.
Spring is here. Are you giving your yard the best chance at being healthy and green? Call Penner Sprinkler and Lawn to get your sprinklers ready to go for the season if they haven't been working properly. They're also scheduling installs for new sprinkler systems if you don't have one. So make sure you contact them early to get a bid as soon as possible. Plus, they're your one place to go for 5-step fertilizer and pesticide application and lawn aeration. Call Penner Sprinkler and Lawn today at 402-413-1215.
Another packed summer sports season means it's time to get to N Street Drive-In to fill up on all your beverage.
Yes, ma'am. I think I missed a call.
Maze Beer of the Month with Boulevard Brewing,
for Eric.
Tallgrass Brewing, and Glacial Till Cider. Also, make sure to download the new N Street Drive-In app to order online and to set up delivery right to your.
Yes, ma'am. I'm going to follow up. I'm actually on my radio show, so I had a little bit of break. So I wanted to just make sure who it was. No, it's okay.
Hey, sports fans, Rico here with HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. Carfax recently awarded us as the top-rated auto service center for 2020, and Lincoln Choice Awards voted us as the 2021 top independent auto repair center. Call
and
us
do you have furnished options as well?
8934 for superior service, bumper to bumper.
Just wanted to
mention
check
this
it.
ad
I'm moving
and get
from Florida
7% off.
and,
Doesn't get any better than that.
so
Rico
I
for
didn't
his
really
auto care,
wanna have to
70th
try to
and Van
find
Dorn.
furniture. So that's okay. I mean,
Early break with Sip and Jake.
Joined by Sam Cook, 39 years old from Seward, Jake. Played 16
All
seasons.
right. That's okay. Thank you so much.
Why do you think it worked so well for you in Baltimore?
With success of our special teams over the 16-year career, never left the field without feeling like I got something out of it each day. And I always try to find a way to make sure I got each day got better.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning.
Herrick Services takes this time to wish everyone a happy and healthy Memorial Day weekend. We are thankful for our country, and for those that have served this nation, we salute you. This important message comes to you from Bart, Mike, and the folks at Herrick Services, your vending specialists here in Lincoln. Their quality service and expertise has earned them a fine reputation. That's Herrick Services, on the air because they care. Wedding season is underway. Stop wearing your fading, wrinkling shirts and update your wardrobe today at M Suits Clothiers in Lincoln. M Suits has men's clothing for every occasion, from business to leisure to weddings and formals. And they've been chosen by Lincoln as best of men's clothing for 4 years running. The buying process is quick and easy with personal service that's hard to find. And they're family owned, where you are also treated like a part of the family. M Suits Clothiers, just south of 56th and Pine Lake on Red Rock Lane.
Work, laundry, dishes. I was exhausted. I needed a vacation, but finding a way to pay for it, not so easy. Then I found it, a research study at Solarion. I searched the studies and found a perfect match for me. It was so easy. I earned cash for the study and booked that vacation. Plus, I made an impact on medical research. Find a study and sign up today at helpresearch.com.
You should consider the risks of the research before you agree to participate.
Hey, it's Nelson. We all know life gets a little hectic. You're just looking for that right amount of balance for stress relief with your busy lifestyle while trying to not break the bank. That's why you gotta stop by the newest Caterpillar Vapes location right here in Lincoln, 2601 North 11th Street. The Caterpillar team is made up of people just like you, wanting the best product at the best price. They can walk you through the largest selection in town, answer any questions, and find you that perfect balance. First-time customers get 50% off their entire purchase. Stop in and see for yourself. For more, find them on Facebook or online at CaterpillarVapes.com.
Back to On the Block with Strick and Bach on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Wrapping up things here on the block on a Wednesday for you on 93.7 The Ticket. I'm Jake Bachman. He is Eric Strickland. And we've got a little bit of news, not necessarily too breaking, but over the last hour, former Husker offensive lineman, actually, Keith Williams, who played from 2006 to 2010. I think it was even second team All Big 12 in 2010. So a vital part of that line has been named the Assistant Director of Player Personnel at Nebraska. So congratulations to him and welcome back to being a Husker. Also, Taylor McDaniel was announced yesterday, Director of Recruiting. So excuse me while I almost sneezed there for a second, but it's good to have a few more names around the office, and we expected some recruiting type of additions there, and certainly cool to see Keith Williams back there in that role for Nebraska.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. I'm hoping that as a whole that they'll be able to get that kind of locked down and helping out, and it becomes an affair where everybody is really looking to raise the bar for Nebraska athletics again and get it back to rolling, hopefully soon.
Yeah, like Trev Alberts said, he wants to get everybody moving in the right direction. And within, football hires like this are interesting again because we all know what the season means for Nebraska and this current staff. So you wonder, kind of in these other different roles, especially a hire like this or like these two hires, would they, how much job security, I suppose, do they have, or how much does it matter who's the coach? Compared to, if a new guy comes in, will he have his different people in those roles? That'll be interesting to find out. But in either way, no reason to fear for that. They're in this role for this year at least, and so we're excited to have them aboard and kind of follow what they do. I also wanted to mention the All-Pro teams, which were announced yesterday. It was kind of cool, different than what we've seen in the past. A lot of young names involved in that. I think it was the first time since 1954, 1955 season was the last time the first team All-NBA team was made up entirely of age 27 or younger players. So kind of a new face of the league type of idea going on here. And the players that were announced for the first team, Giannis Antetokounmpo obviously got 100 first team votes, so he did not miss one. He was in for sure. Nikola Jokic gets the center nod there as the back-to-back MVP. Luka Doncic gets a guard spot, as well as Devin Booker. And Jason Tatum becomes the first Celtic since Kevin Garnett in 2008, actually, to get a first team all NBA award. On that second team, the biggest discussion that I wanted to ask you about is Joel Embiid, who was second in the scoring and I think second MVP, still kind of gets frozen out of here of the first team award because the position he plays, center. So kind of interested in your take if two centers should have been allowed to be on the first team. In any case, John Morant, Kevin Durant, Stephen Curry, and DeMar DeRozan all selected to that second team. Third team, for what it's worth, that's where LeBron James falls with Karl Anthony Towns, Chris Paul, Trae Young, and Pascal Siakam. But what do you think about Joel Embiid? One of the best players in the league this year. Obviously, the playoffs didn't go quite as he wanted them to, but I mean, he had even more total points as far as votes go than Jason Tatum, but because of his position, he gets second team All-NBA. Do you think that needs to be fixed or adjusted, or is that just, positional basketball?
That's just the way it's been, man. It's been that way. It's unfortunate sometimes. I mean, just think about it. There are shooting guards that were perennial top 50 guys. When Michael Jordan was there, you're not getting in. It's just unfortunate, right? It's unfortunate that that's the case, and it seems to kind of go along the lines now of not only success, but what you've done So Jokic obviously winning the MVP. They couldn't put him in as much as they probably wanted to.
Put him
They
on
couldn't. You voted for him for MVP. You can't put him on the second team. I mean, and that's the crazy thing. It's politics. A lot of it's politics related, right? Because at the end of the day, Jimmy Butler, how is nobody on the Miami Heat team? If you're thinking about it, nobody on the Miami Heat team. And they're the number one seed. They were the best team in the NBA, but they don't get nobody in any of them.
Yeah.
I look at Pascal Siakam. Okay, good, solid, but nobody on the Miami Heat. So, I mean, you can look at it in all types of ways, but that's just the way people, I guess, look at it.
And obviously, a lot of these guys are kind of in their different camps. I think Antetokounmpo, maybe Jokic as big men are you're kind of in their own camp. But if you had to start a team right now between Luka Doncic, Devin Booker, and Jason Tatum, the other first teamers there, who do you think you would side with?
For me, I think I would have to go with Luka, and the reason being is that he can do it in all types of ways. The style that he plays, he just needs certain people around him. It ain't that he can score, but he still is a passer, So for me, I think if he has the right ingredients around him, just a little bit more, I think if Luka had a Jaylen Brown type, dangerous, right? So that's why I would look at it from that standpoint. I think Booker is great, but he's great in a certain type of system. I think Tatum is 1A, 1B, for me, because he can do a lot of things as well. I'd like to see his passing proficiency jump up a little bit better, though.
Yeah, and it has. He's still growing as a player. As Luka mentioned, he was growing as a player too. Both very young guys, but it'll be exciting to see maybe the future look of the NBA now there with LeBron James dropping to the third team. Obviously had a great season himself, but the record probably caught up to LeBron James in that category as well. That'll wrap it up for On the Block for your Wednesday edition. Tomorrow we'll be at Double Eagle Golf, so definitely plan on joining us out there. Prizes, long drive contests, and the golf simulators, a lot of fun. So Ticket Weeknights coming up next. Thanks for joining us on the block. Have a great Wednesday night.
Work, laundry, dishes,